Hey YouTube, how's it going? Well, this is Joe with the floor pan replacement using used floor pans on an 86 Trans Am. I think this is video number 6, showing my progress on patching in this driver's side footwell. They're all hammered out by hand. Welded together wherever I had to cut it. I think there's 4 pieces, maybe I guess we'll count that. That's 5. I had to spread that, add a piece due to a miscalculation. Oh well. Here it is from inside. Let's see the other video. I showed this. I just kind of faked it in, welded it. It's welded on the other side too. Same deal. Faked it in and pushed some tabs together. Took that out like I said I was gonna. Over to this side. Whoa. Alright. Trying to keep this camera work going right, but anyway. Redid this flange. I had to come in half an inch because it was just paper thin, and I probably should have came in all the way into here because it was still paper thin, burned through all over the place. It's mostly Chinese wire holding everything together from my wire feed welder, my flux core welder, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. So today, finish this up, ground everything down as much as I care to. It's a floor pan, I'm not worried about it. It's going to have carpet over it, so I didn't want to get real carried away with it. But after I ground it all down, I stood it up outside and looked at the sun through it, and you could see holes everywhere, so I spent an hour welding everything up. And then took that, ground everything down from that point. And after I ground it down, I found more holes. I welded those holes up, ground those down, called it good enough. I didn't really see anything too bad, so I figured I was close. Treated everything with a nice big phosphoric acid scrub, both sides. I'll flip this over because there's some stuff I did on the back I wanted to show. That was all surface rust there, and that's the rear footwell. So we treated all that, treated all the weld underneath, and we treated everything up here that we welded. So this is all ready, supposedly all ready for paint. You know, I probably could take, there's probably still some slag in here, and I know there is. I can guarantee there is. How's that grab you? But like I said, it's a floor pan. And it's not a show car. So, it is what it is. So after I did the phosphoric acid, I scrubbed the heck out of it. Took it over to the garden hose and washed everything down. Lo and behold, that turned it into a sieve again. So now you can see all the different plug welds all over it, filling up all the dirty spots that the phosphoric acid cleaned out. So now I gotta regrind all that stuff and retreat it again. But that's work for another day. It's good enough for me for right now. I treated it with the phosphoric acid for 2 reasons: for adhesion, and because according to the maker of the phosphoric acid, the treated metal will be protected for up to 1 year if left alone. So according to it is supposed to protect the metal. It did its little flash rust thing, and should be ready for primer as it sits. So we're pretty, I'd say we're 90%, 95% on that pan. I'm going to hit it with a grinder. I just don't want to make any more noise today. My neighbors are Probably kind of stressed. I've been out here since 10 o'clock this morning, and it's, I don't know, it's pretty late. So anyway, that side's done. This side still needs that patch done. Still needs this flange put on. It's supposed to look like that flange back there. This one was cut off. This side had a rocker panel replaced on the car that it came off of. So that's why this flange is destroyed. They welded the daylights out of it everywhere. I had a hell of a time getting it off the car. I still have to do some body work in the pan. This whole pan was twisted from the accident this car was in. They did a pretty nice job of pulling everything back out, but the whole car was pushed that way. The pans were all buckled. So I've got them pretty straight now. That side, the whole back, that whole area back there was pushed up to within an inch of the top. And that's about 5 inches down. That whole torque box had been pushed up into there. After I cut all the welds and brought everything out, I hammered as much of that back down as I cared to. And I got a little bit of work left in this one. There's some back here by the trans hump, a little bit up there, quite a bit back there in the floor pan area. So I'm going to do that. I've got to add this flange back on. I think I'm just going to cut this one right up here and just weld another one back right to it. Or I may get really lazy and just cut a section out of here and weld that back in. The flange for the rocker panel is missing an inch here. I'm going to put that back on. I have to decide what to do with all this rust. Pieces are missing here and there. It's got to be done. That rust has got to be treated. All these big giant welds that they put on have to be ground off. This back here is pretty iffy. I don't know. I might just weld that and then grind everything off. I got a little bit of hammer work to do up here. This flange, like I said, this has got to be straightened back out. This needs to be rolled up. Get the rest of this stuff put back together the way it was. The way it's supposed to be. Treat it with phosphoric acid. Flip it over. Surface the rest of the bottom. Phosphoric acid. Wash it. Done. Then it's just a matter of taking the pans out of that car. Finalizing my plan for where to cut that. And we should be going. My only hitching point right now is coming up with a plan for this. Man, I hate this garage right now. It's so dirty in here. It's just, every time I try to walk, I almost kill myself. I'm trying to figure out where to section this at. I think I'm going to come through probably here. Yeah, because you saw that, right? Okay, here we go again. Back here, Joe. Hello. Probably from this point, I'm going to take a line from the top of this, maybe a little higher, you know, through here. We're going to come straight through. And then from this point, we're going to go up. I have to check in the other car to make sure how high I have to go to get out of the rust area. Oh, some more holes over here. Hot dog, just saw those. Huh. Some more welding. Oh, goody. But that's where I'm at. My car's an automatic. This car was a stick. So unless I want to take all of this out, swap it over to the other car, and then change all that, you know, I don't want to go into that. I would rather just have the two seams and just be done with it. So that's where I'm going to go. Alright. So that's what I know. Let's talk about the welder. The welder I'm using is a Harbor Freight Chicago Electric flux core wire. What do they call it? Flux core MIG welder? Wire feed welder? Whatever. That's the reason I'm having all these pinhole problems. You know, when you're doing the sheet metal, you're doing spot welds. You're spot welding a couple inches apart all the way down, you know, and then you're coming back and working off of the spot welds and working off the spot welds. Pretty soon everything kind of builds up. And you end up with a large accumulation of slag. And well, you know, I had a lot of welding to do, so I was a little too lax with cleaning. I need to clean a little more often. I need to wire wheel stuff down every third pass, I think. I was probably doing 6 to 8 passes before I would clean anything, and that's why I was getting so many pinholes. A lot of burn through. This metal is very thin. Both the stuff I'm using is a patch, and the stuff that the car is made out of is 35 thousandths. It's very thin, so it doesn't take a lot of heat. I'm only getting a very small spot weld and in one pass, so so that's probably most of the reason why I'm having so much trouble. If I had a cleaner welder, it would probably be a lot better. But anyway, that is the progress for Sunday. The second week I've been working on these pans. It's unbelievable. Like, if you ever get a chance to do this, use a used set of pans on a 3rd gen repair, don't. Buy a different car. Even if you spent money on the car you're trying to fix, it ain't worth it. Throw it away. Run. Do something. Just don't do this. So anyway, YouTube, that's progress for today. We'll be back in a couple of days, hopefully with that pan. And then after that, we start on the car. So there you go. Peace.